Good morning everybody and welcome back to VG Myths, the online internet video game TV show about to be bombarded with dozens of comments saying this isn't a myth and very well may not even be a VG. Kingdom Hearts is a full-length action RPG existential Disneyland commercial in which, like most RPGs, you accumulate experience points to level up your character. But wouldn't you know it, I completely accidentally pressed the button that turns off experience points and frankly, I'm too lazy to figure out how to navigate the menus. I guess we'll just have to beat the game as is. Can you beat Kingdom Hearts at level 1? The first and most important rule is incredibly simple. Keep yourself and all party members at level 1. This is only possible on the HD ports of Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, which added in a special equipable ability unlocked at the start of the game called EXP 0. It does exactly what it says on the tin, eliminating EXP gain while equipped, effectively locking Sora and all party members at their current level. And of course, this ability only exists on Proud Mode, the hardest difficulty setting. Additionally, since it would break the idea of the challenge otherwise, permanent stat boosting items are banned. The run is complete when the credits roll, plus we've got a bonus challenge. We're going for 100% completion of Jiminy's Journal as well as completing the entire Synthesis side quest to ensure we take on everything the level 1 run has to offer. With the rules set, let's get this run started. Right out of the gate, you'll have to make a critical decision, picking one stat to get a buff and one stat to get a nerf between attack, defense, and magic. Of course, this decision is entirely subjective and the correct answer depends on your playstyle. If you generally prefer dying, buff attack or defense. Otherwise, buff magic. In a normal playthrough, this would change which stats increase as Sora levels up, but since we're not doing that, all that matters is whatever effect they have on Sora's starting stats. Each stat is only affected by 1 or 2 points. The boost to attack and defense is negligible. 1 or 2 extra points isn't going to be doing much of anything for you late into the game. Magic, meanwhile, is a much scarcer commodity, meaning every individual magic point translates into a truckload of increased damaging potential. Buffing magic here is the obvious and easy correct decision, giving you a permanent +1 max MP for the entire playthrough. During the tutorial, be careful to turn EXP 0 on as early as possible. There are a couple required Heartless battles before the pause menu tutorial, and you don't even get a chance to pause before being thrust into a third battle. You can't pause during battle, and the run will be forfeit if you kill these Heartless. No matter your choices in the personality quiz, Goofy will inevitably reach level 2. Rather than fighting, lure the shadows to an edge of the arena and run past them to the opposite end. If no enemies are in range, you'll automatically exit battle mode, allowing you to pause and finally gain the ability to kill everything in sight without becoming a better person for it. The first handful of worlds are going to be about as easy as usual. After all, they're explicitly designed for low-level players. However, there will still be some getting used to. Ridiculously thankfully, dodge roll is obtained simply through finishing the first Traverse Town visit, but most other combat abilities are tied directly to leveling up, including scan and guard. You won't be able to directly tell how much health enemies have or how much damage you're dealing, and you'll have to get well acquainted with the invulnerability frames at the beginning of a dodge roll. Little disclaimer here, I'm sorry if I ever erroneously suggest using an attack that does basically 0 damage at some point in the video. I'm willing to bet it happens at least once, cause God knows I have no idea how much damage I'm dealing. The first roadblock comes when you reach Not Clayton. I'm about to commit the greatest sin a Kingdom Hearts player ever could and recommend you give healing items to Donald and Goofy. I know, they're gonna completely waste them the moment anybody gets the tiniest boo-boo, but hear me out. We don't have the cure spell yet, so our only healing method is potions. Sora can only carry 3, they're risky to use, and will have no healing options whatsoever once they're gone. The off chance Donald or Goofy manage to accidentally heal you when you want them to gives you at least a small, noticeable increase in the odds of success. As for the actual combat strategy, focus entirely on Not Clayton. I mean the Not Clayton that looks like Clayton, not the obviously Not Clayton. The fight officially ends once Not Clayton's HP reaches 0, regardless of obviously Not Clayton's current health. In particular, try to knock him into a corner and stun lock him with 2-hit combos. You'll be safe here for a little while, racking up tons of damage basically for free. Beating Not Clayton gets you access to Cure, which I highly recommend you customize to the confirm button and never look back. Each world becomes progressively harder thanks to the ever-increasing invisible health bars of enemy Heartless. Of course, walk straight past them whenever possible, and when dealing with hordes, I highly recommend the Blizzard spell. It costs minimal MP and can be just as much a room clearer as Thunder if you use it right. And remember, it's almost always better to attack and cast magic in midair. Doing so is much faster, usually less risky, and gives attacks like Blizzard a better range. Once you beat the Pot Scorpion and Agrabah, I recommend you equip the Ray of Light immediately, boosting your max MP by 1. That magic boost will help a lot when fighting the bandits in Agrabah, including during the Cave of Wonders battle. Spam Blizzard to take out the bandits that spawn at the beginning of the fight ASAP, then run up top. Once you're raised into the air, constantly spam 1- and 2-hit combos and pray you don't fall off. More Heartless will spawn in and try to jump up towards you near the end of the fight. Do your best to ignore them and focus entirely on the eyes. With any luck, you'll end the battle before they overwhelm you. Once you've gotten the lowest level forms of every magic spell, head straight back to Traverse Town and talk to Merlin for Spellbinder. This thing is a massive upgrade, giving you 2 extra MP. Plus, when the Synthesis Workshop opens up around the same time, craft a magic brace for yet another MP gain, putting your max MP at 7. You'll now be dealing absolutely ridiculous damage compared to before. Just spamming Blizzard at everything will be enough for most Heartless battles, but some boss fights demand a little more strategy. Thankfully, now that we've got such a high magic stat, there's another trick we can take advantage of to even the odds. And by even the odds, I mean curb stomp your side of the scale to the center of the earth. EXP0 has a few secret attributes. For example, it takes a minimum of 2 hits to KO you at full health, regardless of how powerful the attack was, and some areas even up that count to 3. Of course, that's great on its own, but there's another secret attribute we can totally abuse. Sora deals roughly double damage when hitting most bosses with a finishing move, likely an attempt by the devs to keep melee combos relevant. Ever so luckily, the devs were asleep at the wheel when programming that damage multiplier and accomplished exactly the opposite, resulting in a glitch dubbed damage storage. The damage multiplier continues to stay in effect after the finisher, only being reset if Sora does another melee attack or limit. If you do anything else, such as casting spells or using summons, the multiplier stays in place and is applied to every attack, effectively doubling your magic's offensive potential. Get in one 3-hit combo, then completely shift to magic attacks, going total ham to deal as much damage as possible in as short a time as possible. Summons in particular are already super OP and will get a further ludicrous boost thanks to this glitch. Simba deals damage to every enemy in the area. In the Heartless battles, he's capable of clearing the entire room with one roar. Genie casts tons of spells at every target he's locked onto, and if he's only locked onto one target, it's not gonna be a target for very long. And while the guides I was looking at didn't recommend him that often, I personally found Dumbo to be a safe bet in almost any scenario, since you can't be damaged while riding him. And of course, Bambi will constantly restore your MP, letting you spam Blizzard indefinitely. To make summons even more effective, complete the 100 Acre Wood ASAP. Reaching the target score in each minigame will give Sora the cheer ability, allowing summons to stay on the field longer. Donald and Goofy will get copies of this ability too over the course of the story, letting you stack on 3 at the same time. Unfortunately, damage storage isn't going to help you against Riku in Hollow Bastion. He's completely immune to most magic, making melee attacks the only option. He also just so happens to auto-retaliate after every 3 hits, which isn't enough to get enough magic back for a cure. Luckily, we can totally cheese him with Tinkerbell. She's a special summon that stays on field until you get KO'd, constantly healing you and any party members you're standing near. Stay near Goofy whenever he gets KO'd and let him fight Riku for you. He's actually pretty good at getting in combos with his shield charge, ending the fight relatively quickly. Maleficent in both human and dragon form is an absolute pushover. Get in a single 3-hit combo, summon in Genie, and sit back and drink a latte. The damage dealt is so ridiculous, Genie will take her out single-handedly, effectively skipping the fight. With Dragon Maleficent dead, you'll unlock the final summon Mushu, who we'll have a lot of fun with in the future. Once you walk through the next door, you'll face Ansem Riku to finally rescue Kairi. There's only one valid strategy. Run away like a little sissy baby. If you advance the story any further and officially complete the first Hollow Bastion visit, every Heartless in the entire game will be buffed up with late game stats. This makes basically every side quest harder to complete. It's time to backtrack and do almost everything the game has to offer while it's still on easy mode. Along the way, you'll finally obtain the right equipable items to increase your max MP to 9, only one short of the maximum possible at level 1. You can also swap out the Spellbinder for Lady Luck, giving the same MP boost but also having a higher attack stat. I have no idea if the attack stat actually helps at all at this point, but it's a higher number, and I like higher numbers. While not technically required for completing the challenge, I did want to at least finish the Phil Cup, Pegasus Cup, and Hercules Cup Time Trials. The Phil and Pegasus Cups are easily doable, but the Hercules Cup seems to be outright impossible. You simply don't have enough damage dealing potential to take out both Cloud and Hercules, not to mention all the Heartless waves, in just 3 minutes. However, there does exist a glitch that will let you finish the cup anyway. If you can make it to Hercules, immediately pause and select restart. Rather than restarting the entire cup as usual, you'll only reset the Hercules fight and the timer will be frozen, giving you infinite time to take down Hercules. You might be wondering why I'm showing somebody else's footage instead of just doing it myself. Turns out, this glitch seems to only exist in the Western versions of the game, which I found out by complete accident. As I'm sure not a single one of you has managed to notice or post a comment about yet, I'm playing the Japanese version. I couldn't find any info online directly stating the glitch was region exclusive, but I tried it myself multiple times, and every time I hit restart, the entire cup restarted as it's supposed to. Yeah, apparently this timer glitch was somehow a mistake in localization of all things. Thankfully, the reward for the time trial is a completely useless finishing move and isn't required for filling the journal, so we can safely ignore it and still accomplish both the main and bonus challenge. I will say, if anybody out there is able and willing, try testing it on the Japanese version yourself and let me know if you manage to get it to work. I'm really curious if maybe I'm just somehow doing it wrong. As for all the synthesis farming, most of the rare Heartless are no more difficult than a vanilla playthrough, especially if you abuse summons. Feel free to use elixirs if any are giving you trouble. If you need more, you can easily stock back up on an infinite supply of elixirs and mega elixirs from the rare truffles in Neverland. Also, do not go after Chimera, Pot Scorpion, or the Pink Agaricus yet. They'll actually be easier after the Heartless upgrade. Once you've finished your 20-hour distraction, head back to Hollow Bastion, wake up Riku, and tell him he's now allowed to try and kill you. Luckily, he's pretty bad at it. Almost all his attacks can be dodged by simply jumping around in the air, and unlike the prior Riku battle, you're mostly safe to punish him when he misses an attack. Now that the first Hollow Bastion visit is over, run straight back in there for the second visit, both to curb stomp the behemoth with damage storage and to grab the Dalmatian puppies in the keyhole room. Assuming you've done everything else up till now, these are the last puppies, and returning them will give you the extremely useful spell, Eriga. You also now have access to the Hades Cup and Olympus Coliseum, which I also recommend completing ASAP. Blizz Spam will work in the early waves, but once things start getting tough, use Eriga while going for melee hits. It both aggressively attacks any enemies you move near and auto-parries most projectiles. The more annoying enemies like Dark Balls will be staggered if they try to approach you, making most of their attacks fruitless. Over the course of the Hades Cup, you'll obtain Blizzaga, Thundaga, Gravaga, and access to the gold match against Ice Titan for one final reward. Ice Titan is one of the hardest level 1 fights. While susceptible to damage storage, you can't use summons here, and you can't reliably hit its head with most of your magic. Hang back in the stands and wait for the icicle bullets. Normally you'd use guard to send them flying back, but without it, you'll have to parry manually. The exact timing and positioning is a little weird, but learnable. Keep locked onto Ice Titan, jump slightly to the left, and attack as the icicles fly by you, sending a handful back to hopefully deal some damage. When Ice Titan gets stunned, run in for a 3-hit combo as fast as possible to set up damage storage, and then spam Firaga to start the next phase off strong. He'll be a lot more aggressive in Phase 2, but the same general strategy applies. Phase 3 is where things really kick in. The snowballs can feel pretty annoying and random at first, but there is a predictable pattern to control them. They'll only spawn after certain attacks or while Ice Titan is turning. Stay in one corner to prevent him from turning, and just make sure you're always in movement after he finishes an attack. You're also completely safe from his giant freezing attack while hugging the corner. Just be ready to run out ASAP since it's always followed by snowballs. Keep your head cool, never take any risks, and wait to heal when you know you'll be safe. Even if you get yourself hit constantly like me, 3 elixirs will be more than enough to get you through the entire fight. Your reward is the ultimate Keyblade, Diamond Dust, which gives plus 3 MP and thus finally puts us at 10 total, the highest possible MP in a level 1 run. With Eriga and your 10th MP, you're now fully prepared for those rare Heartless I mentioned earlier. 2 more optional bosses, Kurtzisa and Phantom, will also open up at this point. Both are pushovers in comparison. Tinkerbell effectively gives you infinite health while fighting Kurt, and even his Sawblade attack can be dodged straight through with a well-timed dodge roll. Phantom actually looked completely impossible at first since you need magic to deal damage to him, and even with 3 Mega Elixirs, I'd inevitably end up running out. However, eventually I finally remembered party members can also use items. Give a dozen Mega Elixirs to Goofy and Peter Pan like an absolute idiot, and they'll occasionally accidentally hit you with one while throwing them down at passing cars. Heading into the end of the world, almost every Heartless battle can be bypassed with a combination of summons and Eriga. Everybody's favorite Disney character, Satan, can be quick KO'd by flying down to the volcano and summoning Mushu with damage storage active. The poor guy won't even get the chance to fight back. Immediately after is the hardest Heartless battle in the game, Linked Worlds, featuring 8 waves in a row of the most dangerous Heartless. You'll want Mega Elixirs in every single item slot on all party members. Damage storage Genie the Behemoth, then get ready for the battle proper. The next wave will be a massive Dark Ball. Summon Dumbo to clear most of them out, then get ready for a horde of Invisibles that make up the hardest wave. Rather than using any summons, I had better luck spamming Arrow and Cure. It's not necessarily a clean strategy, but Goofy and Donald machine gunning Mega Elixirs in my face proved to be at least a functional medical plan. The third wave consists only of Angel Stars, most of whose attacks aren't even able to hurt you with Eriga active, giving you plenty of room to breathe. Get ready to summon Simba the exact moment the final Angel Star is dead. If you do it soon enough, you'll be able to clear out every remaining wave in a row as they spawn in without having to lift a finger. With the Linked Worlds clear, reminder, you've now officially unlocked the final boss battle, but before that, we can also get our last synthesis grinding done in the prior room. Switch up your equipment and increase your max AP to let you equip the ability Strike Raid, one of the few limits unlocked without leveling up. It hardly does any damage, but you're immortal while using it, letting you survive the Neo Shadow's otherwise extremely dangerous homing attack. The rest of the fight is simple with a liberal use of Eruga. Once you're done here, you'll finally have enough synthesis materials to finish the synthesis side quest once and for all, obtaining the ultimate Keyblade Ultima weapon, which has less MP than Diamond Dust. It's now time to fight the final boss. Once again, restock Donald and Goofy full of Mega Elixirs. You're not necessarily gonna need them, but there's literally no reason not to go all out. Get in one 3-hit combo and use damage storage summons to Curb Stomp Ansem Part 1. Refill on Mega Elixirs when you get the opportunity. This is your last chance to access the inventory menu. Donald and Goofy won't be rejoining the battle for a long while either, so you'll have to do a bunch of phases without summons. Darkseid and Ansem Part 2 can be taken down no different from a casual playthrough. Just keep Eruga up while you're attacking him for the extra damage, and whatever you do, don't waste any Mega Elixirs just yet. You're gonna need them for World of Chaos Part 1. This is the hardest phase of the entire battle, but thankfully there are liberal continue points from here on. If you make it past, you'll be home free. Start the battle off with a single 3-hit combo to get damage storage started. Without summons, our best bet to deal damage as fast as possible is Firaga. Fly just outside his melee range and spam it as fast as you can, retreating as soon as he starts firing lasers. Don't bother fighting Heartless either, they'll automatically despawn if you fly far enough away from them. Once Ansem's health gets low enough, he'll taunt you to enter phase 2 and steal your strategy, spamming lasers darned near constantly. You won't be able to spam anymore once these lasers show up, so get in absolutely as much damage as you possibly can during the transition. Once the barrage is underway, switch to a hit and run tactic, getting in individual fireballs whenever the lasers let up, and don't be afraid to use your Mega Elixirs when you run out of MP. It'll take a long while for each hit, but if you spam fast enough earlier, you won't have to get in too many more to finally end the phase. Spam Eruga to blaze through the next 2 phases, spam Thundaga to clear out the wave of Dark Balls guarding Goofy, and spam Firaga to take out the head of the World of Chaos. Once you enter the invisible room containing Donald, you've unlocked the ability to use summons once again, and thus regained the ability to scorch the earth. Spam every summon you have to clear out the room, damage storage Mushu to take out Chaos's core in literally less than 2 seconds, and finally damage storage Mushu Ansem's final phase. With Mushu thoroughly proven the most powerful character in Disney canon, the Kingdom Hearts level 1 run is mission complete. But since we're going for journal completion, that's not good enough yet. We've still got 2 super duper bosses to take down, and I've got the worst possible news. Both of them are near completely immune to magic. Damage storage and our massive MP bar, the strategies we've been relying on to cheese through the entire game, are effectively worthless. We've got to take him down using only raw gaming skill. Just kidding, that's a filthy lie. We're replacing the Provolone with Gouda. The Enigmatic Man, despite being the final boss to ever be added to the game, is one of the easiest super duper bosses, thanks to a single, very exploitable combo. Not only is gravity the one spell type he's not immune to, it also stuns him for a ridiculously long time if it lands. Stun him with it, get in a combo while trying to blow him back to the center of the arena, jump slightly back while casting gravity, and jump over the electric balls to reach him and repeat the whole process. He can break out of it for his final phase spinning laser attack and his 4th wall breaking command menu attack, but the former is rare and can be cure spammed through, and he's too polite to use the latter while a summon is visiting, which ever so coincidentally also stops Donald and Goofy from interfering with your combo. Summon Genie and Bambi, tell them to do absolutely nothing, and loop the combo until the Enigmatic Man is banished to the sequel from whence he came. There's now only one step left, the greatest challenge the level 1 run has to offer, the one-winged angel, Sephiroth. Though he's completely immune to all forms of magic, you're still gonna need a huge MP bar just to keep yourself alive. Since magic attack power is useless, Ultima Weapon is actually highly recommended, giving a long reach in exchange for the 1 MP sacrifice. Extensive knowledge and abuse of Sephiroth's moveset is absolutely required. Always approach Sephiroth by jumping slightly to the right. This is a blind spot for both of his slashing attacks. You can't just whack him willy-nilly, he'll always automatically retaliate the instant you either stagger him 4 times in a row, or stagger him 7 times since his last retaliation. Knowing this, you should alternate between 3-hit and 4 4-hit combos. This allows us to get in the maximum hits before each retaliation, as well as spacing out the retaliations as far as possible. Escaping retaliation is not guaranteed. I personally recommend jumping into the air and flying slightly to the left of center screen. Trust me, the direction matters. If you get caught in a fire-go wall, position yourself near the center and intentionally take the second hit while spamming Cure. You die in 3 hits, and if positioned correctly, Sephiroth will always attempt a leaping slash during your invulnerability frames, letting you get your heal in for free. When Sephiroth taunts, that means he's entered phase 2, when he'll start pretending to try. His first attack will always be Heartless Angel, teleporting across the arena and doodling with his finger. Super glide toward and stagger him ASAP. If his animation gets too far along, you'll be set to exactly 0 MP, 1 HP. If you fail to stagger him in time, navigate the menu, select your elixir, and wait until just before you get robbed. Time it right and you'll throw out the elixir, get hit, and be healed to full immediately after. Damaging Sephiroth during phase 2 will be a lot more tricky, but there is a pattern you can abuse. He tends to run towards you and do quick slash after fire-go wall, and tends to do fire-go wall after receiving a combo. Preemptively jump over the quick slash and punish him, then run far away and prepare to do it a second time. When he uses Wild Dance, you've got a couple options. The first is dodge rolling around like your pants are on fire, rolling straight through his sword slashes as he passes over you. Unfortunately, I've never been good enough at video games to get my pants completely alight, so I recommend the easier alternative. Abuse strike rates and vulnerability frames to wait out the entire attack. Keep in mind you'll need 2 MP for this to be viable. If you're any lower, try for dodge rolling and be ready to use an elixir if necessary. Plus, remember that if you time it right, you can actually parry the final hit in midair. Sephiroth will start phase 3 with Supernova, which, despite the theatrics, is the easiest attack to dodge. Hug the outer wall and wait out the meteorite landings by gliding. Once they're all grounded, keep to the edge and dodge roll through the outer meteorite as it passes by. The energy ball's explosion occurs around the time it touches the ground. Dodge roll then, and you'll show up every action movie hero dodging the explosion by running straight into it. I've got good news and bad news. The good news is you're almost done. You're 2/3 through the fight. The bad news is you're gonna die. He tends to use his rising spin attack more often than any other. He's completely open to attack afterwards, so punish him every chance you get. If he's doing anything else, just focus on staying alive. I'd go deeper into my strategy for the rest of his phase 3 attacks, but I honestly have no idea. I was too busy to have a strategy. I just spun around in circles screaming about how dead I was until eventually I accidentally wasn't, finishing off the one-winged angel once and for all and feeling more power coursing through me than any living being should be allowed to. With the journal fully completed, the Kingdom Hearts Level 1 run is an ultimate mission complete. Before heading out, I need to give credit to a few guides that were immensely helpful to me during the run and are also recommended if you'd like to take it on yourself. An overall guide written by Cheeze42 on GameFAQs, the Ultimate Level 1 Synthesis Guide by Mistmaster1, a Level 1 Sephiroth guide by WillJV2, and a Level 1 No Damage Enigmatic Man video by Sonic Shadow Silver 2. Links to all of them can be found in the description. Special thanks to all Patreon backers, including Andrew Seibert, the friendly resident of Subcon Forest, Mrs. Seckman, Les Lamb, RB Drox, All in Zero, Alexander Botkin, Chris Nate, On You, Chosen Muffin, Ikrira, The Bass Singer, Vincent Hall, Vincent YT, Yellow Alert, Alex Nelson, Anon42, Lively Leader, The Quacky Gamer, Backsoy, Jason Ilges, Luminescent Dragon, Seamaster, Ashley, Praetor, Zavi G, Vaith, Lane Robert Leishman, Rory Kelly. Whether he wanted it or not, we've stepped into a war with the Cabal. Goopy Fella, Crustacean Creep, Queen Sapphire, Plum Sweater, Cam the Can 1, Nathaniel Kalita, 8-Bit Mischievous, Blake Long, Celestial Cookie, Drill Commander, Xander Kozak, Ace of Hearts who Alex likes to eat, Doomtaker, Epic Evan 921, Jorb, Khaled Cater, Maverick Swordsman, Misfunctional, Procrastinating Destiny, Rundum Goy, Shadow Murloc, Super Davio, Trent Long, Ye Old Foreign, Aaron Bailey, Alistair Echoes, Brandon Jessup, Complacent Moon, Epic Antos, GameChamp says trans rights are human rights, She Golly Whiz, my name is Spider-Man and I sure do love lasagna, Gussios, I have the power of God and anime on my side, ah. John Frary, Multicore, Periodic Science, Fooey, the Green Scorpion, Zoe, Boomboxy, Christopher Gunderson, Dino Nerd Ghost, John Miller, Curbs D50, Lirario, Santiago Zavars, SNS Main, Star Captain Eli Shaba of Clan Ghost Bear, Danzarios, Joshua Horsley, Ryan Green, Sans from Undertale, Sploot, This Challenge was a Tata, Swavit, and Yop Alonzo. Let me know how much this video sucks and how to improve in the comments below. Happy faces for watching, and return to the darkness from whence you came.